everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm your host today, Danielle Morimoto, and I'm a senior designer here at Adobe. And I am joined by Sally Tugendman.
Yes, you got it.
We were really scared about how I was going to butcher the last name.
You got it. Good job.
Yeah. So Sally's going to be designing in Adobe XD, so we'll get to that in a little bit. And she'll be designing a passion project, a social media app in the beauty space. So that'll be really fun to get into. We had the Daily Creative Challenge on just before this with Sam Anderson, and so we have a creative challenge going on right now that you guys should check out and make sure that you submit. At 9 o'clock, we had the Daily Creative Challenge with Jesus, and then the live stream was on right after that with Lena, and then obviously Sam before this. And this is the schedule for today and tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be totally different, so make sure that you continue to check in. But Sally will be back with us. This is just day one. Hey, everyone joining us on the chat. Let's see, we have Polk and Richard, Fatima. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We're obviously in San Francisco.
Yes.
Bay Area natives.
Yep.
Cool. So last things, we do have a chat and win today. So about 30 minutes in, make sure that you're joining us on Behance. You'll have a chance to win 100 free, the directionality here, Sticker Mule stickers. Always get that wrong. So make sure that you're active in the chat. Feel free to ask Sally or myself any questions. Sally, what she's designing, or if you have any questions about her career or Adobe XD in general, feel free to send them through the chat. I see some people joining us, New York, Boston. Ontario. Nice. Oh no, see, zombie baby reference already. Starting off, I had to warn Sally. Yeah. So I'm gonna hand it off to Sally and let her introduce herself to you guys, and then we can get into more detail around the details of the daily challenge today, which we'll be reviewing. So make sure to send those into Discord, and then the chat and win later as well.
Sweet, awesome. Yeah, so I have a little slide deck here. Present that. Hi everyone, so I'm Sally Tugendman. I am a product designer at Truepill, a startup here in the Bay Area. So I'm just gonna kind of go through a little bit of my background, how I got through design, and where I got to today. So my road to design is a little bit different, I feel like, than the average designer. I knew I wanted to do something artistic from a pretty young age. I've always been into photography. I did black and white darkroom film photography since I was about 13. So creative stuff has always been kind of my thing. But I didn't really get into it until kind of recently, actually. So my career kind of started off in sales. And I kind of quickly realized that that was not what I wanted to do, because cold calling people that don't want to talk to you is kind of the most difficult thing in the world, and it's not what I wanted to do. So, but it was actually in sales that I kind of stumbled upon UI, UX, and product design, because I was using a lot of sales enablement tools, and their UX was really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And so I was using these tools, and I kept thinking to myself, I could totally design something better than this. Like, I want to be able to do better than this for people. So that's when I kind of looked into boot camps. So I did a year-long boot camp called Block. It was online, and it was the hardest thing that I've done, but it was also just really, really rewarding. And
that's a big transition from sales into like design. That's like a difficult decision to make, to totally switch careers.
It totally was, and it was very, very difficult, but I knew, coming from like a design, like photography background, that was what I wanted to do. And so I finished that up in December. I did a little bit of freelance for a while, and then I got my job at Truepill. So that's nice. A little bit of my background. So let's just jump into what we have going for the next 2 days. Today, so I'm going to introduce the project that I'm going to be working on. Since this is a case study, I'm going to kind of run through what I would usually do for a case study. I'll show you guys that in a second. But we're going to define what the problem is, what a possible solution, and who our users are, and then we're going to start doing some wireframing.
Nice.
And then day 2, just gonna recap on what we did today, choose some colors, a color palette and typography, which I think will be awesome to get some input from the chat on that. And we'll start the hi-fi mockups, and then if we have time, we'll begin the case study. If not, then I will definitely do that after stream, and then put that up on my Behance.
Nice. So
to quickly kind of segue into the project. So this is a previous project of mine. So the idea is that this is kind of going to be a sister app to the one that I do today. So Beauty Book is the final project that I did at my bootcamp. So it's a beauty and skincare review application that helps users make informed decisions about the products they buy. One of the main features was that there's a filter system where you could filter reviews based on your personal characteristics. So if you have dry skin, you can see reviews based on that or any other kind of attributes. So I kind of want to just quickly show what that case study looks like. Just to kind of go through my process of how I usually create and write a case study.
Nice, yeah, and I just want to make sure that we shout out everyone who's joining us. Thank you. We have people from, I saw just like all over.
Wow,
Netherlands,
Istanbul.
yeah, Poland, England. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Sally's going to be going through this app now and then designing in Adobe XD live. So make sure that you send in more questions. I did see in the chat, was your bootcamp online or was it in person?
It was online.
Yeah, what's it like to have an online bootcamp?
It's hard. I mean, you have to regulate yourself. And I think that can be kind of difficult because in a normal school setting, you know, you have a teacher there telling you what to do. And luckily my program, we had mentors throughout, which was super, super helpful. But yeah, it's definitely hard to regulating yourself and saying, okay, I need to sit down and work from this time to this time and like get everything done. But
Totally.
Definitely worth it, I think. Cool. So I'm gonna hopefully this works. So this is my portfolio, and I'm not gonna like go through this in depth, but I just kind of wanted to show what like a case study for me usually looks like in my process. So like I said, it's a beauty and skincare review application. And usually what I start off is, like what we're gonna do today, is defining the problem and then also figuring out what a solution for those problems are. And obviously I start off with some user research. Then go into design with the lo-fi and hi-fi mockups and wireframes and branding. And then I will end up prototyping. So I always usually start off with a user research survey, figuring out what the main frustrations and the most important features are for users. Obviously, I didn't really have time to conduct a survey live today, because I only have 4 hours. But yeah, so then I'll do a competitive analysis, figure out some main user personas based on all of these answers I got from the user surveys. Then we'll do some user flows and branding, which I will be doing on stream probably tomorrow.
Nice.
Figuring out color guide or color palette, typography, any illustrations used, stuff like that. And then we'll get into hi-fi mockups and user testing, which I also won't unfortunately be able to do.
We only have so much time.
We only have so much time. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's usually my process. So now I'll kind of get into what the project I'm going to be doing today is. Cool, so the problem. So basically this app is going to be a place where beauty and makeup enthusiasts and professional artists can post their makeup looks, but also they can tag the products used. And with Instagram, users are only really able to tag the brand, not the product itself. And also, it just ends up looking like they can only do it really in the caption. So it only looks like a long list of products, and it kind of just doesn't make sense. So also, there's no way to really include any affiliate codes or affiliate links, so it's harder to make money off of your posts, I would say, except for doing just like advertisements. So how can we create an experience that is both beneficial to the professional makeup artist and the regular makeup enthusiast? And the solution. So a mobile app that allows both the average makeup lover and the expert to share their art with the community. Professionals are able to tag each individual product in their looks. Professionals can add affiliate links to help their brand and give back to their fans. Let me explain what an affiliate code is, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that means. Basically, it's when a brand partners with like a professional makeup artist who has a very large following. They will give them a certain code. Let's say the artist's name is like Lauren, so they'll do the code Lauren20. And so that code will give their fans like 20% off at checkout, and then it'll also get the makeup artist some money when that code is used. So then the enthusiasts are able to identify products that they like and look them up directly through the app. So this is kind of where Beauty Book, my last app, kind of comes into this. So basically the idea is they can select the product that they like, and then in-app something will pop up that from Beauty Book, like a page from Beauty Book with all the reviews, and then also a place for them to purchase it. And then customizable profiles. So Instagram is kind of set in their profile. You can't really change it or make it look any different. So I kind of want to make it more aesthetically pleasing, because that's what a lot of beauty people really like,
nice, yeah.
Aesthetics. So customizable profiles, and then also more detail-oriented like photo grids. So the photos will be actually larger, so you can see more details in them. And so then now we're going to kind of go into who I feel like the main users would be for this app. So the primary goals, so makeup enthusiasts, just like a regular person like me or you that is just interested in beauty or makeup, and then also the professional artist. So the makeup enthusiast wants to be able to share makeup looks with friends, find professional artists to learn from, and discover the products that these artists use in their look. So, oh, I really like the eyeshadow that she used. Then you can really quickly look that up and purchase it if you like, and look at the reviews and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the primary goals of the professional artist are they want to share their looks with their fans and followers, and also grow their brand by tagging the products they use, and then with affiliate links.
So this setup is really useful too, I feel like, for any type of design project you're doing, when you're like pitching it or just like explaining it to people, like especially making sure that you're like really clear on like who are the users, like who's our target audience, because their wants and needs are going to be different. Like the wants of like a makeup enthusiast versus like the professional, like you said, right? They're going to be different. So what they need within the app will be different. So as you design, you can always come back to like, oh wait, who's our audience? And like who's that like person, and what do they really need? So,
exactly.
This is really cool to see.
Cool. Yeah, so that's basically the intro. Let's, I guess, oh, I just realized I forgot my sketches in the other room.
Get up, all, oh, Paco's on it.
Thanks, you. Paco. They're in my purse. I'm so sorry.
We'll get into sketches and stuff. But yeah, and a reminder, so we do have a chat and win. The countdown has been added. So in about 14 minutes, make sure that you are engaging with us on the chat. So come on over to Behance if you're not already there, and make sure that you're asking any questions. We're here to just spend the time with you. And if you have questions around, you know, design principles or career questions or just nonsense, send them through, and we will filter through them. We'll try to get to all your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
sketches have been delivered. Thank you, Paco.
Yay, thank you.
Do you want them on this cam?
Do you want to show them?
Yeah,
I
think
I'm assuming.
that'd be cool.
Let's do it. Sweet.
Awesome.
Here we go.
I'll give you
Sweet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, wow, very cool. So these are just a few pages. Obviously not all the features are kind of sketched out here, but I kind of wanted to just get a general idea of what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't make them this neat, and then sometimes I do, just to kind of get my ideas out.
When everyone's going to be seeing them on the stream, got to make them neat.
Exactly. So yeah, so it's kind of similar to Instagram, because that's what everyone knows. So I didn't want to make it like totally different. Yeah. The features are definitely going to be different. Like I said, the images are going to be a little bit bigger, and then what what else do we got here? Yeah, so this will be like the codes and affiliate list. I'm thinking of doing something like this where you could like just the person can just copy the link really quickly. This is where it gets a little bit more messy. I started off on this one and then I ended up doing this because I was like, okay, this is too much. So this will be what a post looks like, and then, yeah, so general idea here of what I'm gonna do. So.
Do you always start off with like sketches on paper and pen, or?
Sometimes I don't, actually. Sometimes I just kind of go straight into wireframing. But if it's something like this where I need to visualize what I'm doing first, I think these are sketches.
These are way cleaner than mine.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't bring my notebook to share. I start with sketches pretty quickly just because I have so much in my head and I'm trying to get everything down. But it's also cool to see, like, I mean, you could, like, printing out, it's a good idea sometimes to, like, have the actual, like, phone screen.
Yeah, these are really helpful.
And then just go ahead and kind of have that template before you start sketching.
Yeah, absolutely.
My sketches are...
So yeah, usually,
so
and I was like on the stream, all right, let me make them a little bit nicer than usual. Nice. And a lot of times I'll just like write down my thoughts on a piece of paper, like, okay, feature list, what am I gonna do? And then I can kind of look at that and then visualize it and put it on a sketch.
Nice.
So.
And someone was asking, for your own website, Noelle had a question. Did you code your own website? They love it. They thought it looked like
awesome.
Vibes.
Yeah. So I actually used an HTML template, but it was me having to code some of it. But a lot of the basic, just like all the design kind of elements were a little bit there. I just had to put it together myself.
And then when it comes to process, like you showed like user research and you talked a lot about that. In the chat, someone was wondering, is it okay to spend a few weeks on just user research, or is that overkill?
I mean, it totally depends on the project, right? Like if it's a big project or if it's a big app or a big web app or something like that, I feel like user research could definitely take a really long time, and sometimes it should, because you really need to understand the users and so it totally depends.
Yeah, here at Adobe we have design research group, like we have an entire team that does that because it's so important.
Exactly.
And I think, again, like dependent on the project that you're on and also just like the time frame, like sometimes you have the time to be able to really go thoroughly into it, and sometimes it's like, okay, we can only do so much because we just do have like a really tight deadline or something.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great questions. Thanks for sending them in.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start on the wireframes. I think I'm just going to start off with the feed, since that's kind of going to be the main page here. So I'm going to start at the top.
Hey, Gabriella said, thanks for sharing your sketches. I'd love to learn more about your process. I find it really helpful to see how other creatives work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the beauty of like Adobe Live, like the live stream. It's really nice to see like everyone's process, and like it's a little nerve-wracking to be like working live and like when people are kind of like everyone's watching you.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
But it's helpful to like get an insight.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see how other people's design processes go, because everyone is so different, and also design is just so iterative, and so things change all the time, and it's cool to see what people's processes are. So I have a cool little plugin here. I think it's cool. A little placeholder. Boom.
Yes. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Adobe XD has now like the new plugins. So at the very top, there's the plugin section.
Yeah.
And this one, I guess, is just purely for placeholder. Is it images, or what type of placeholder?
Yeah, it's just, I guess, it shows basically how large the,
nice.
That is. And then also have like a text input one, and then an actual, like for when I do the hi-fi mockups tomorrow, like actual user like pictures, really. Yeah, so those are pretty neat.
Is it called, what's the plugin called? Someone in the chat.
Placeholder image, I think, is actually the name of it. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, so you can check out all the plugins in Adobe XD, search through. Okay.
It's right there. Yeah, it's
image.
super, super awesome that it's literally just right there. It's super helpful. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of great plugins in Adobe XD. I think some of my favorites, or ones that I probably use the most, are I have one that's layout, which like basically like changes, like takes your design and actually puts it like directly on a mock, so you don't have to like go into Photoshop and like change the angle and do all that. You can just like see it really quickly.
Really cool.
That one's really nice. And then, you know, there's a bunch of them around like language, so you can like just see your designs in a bunch of different languages, which can be really helpful.
Oh, that's cool.
One's for like, you know, people who are colorblind, so being able to see sort of like how your design is, like the readability of your design, which I think is really useful and important when you're designing. So make sure to check out the plugins. They have some really cool ones coming out.
Absolutely. So that's huge. I think I'm gonna switch that up actually from my sketch. So yeah, and also the thing with these is like a lot of times I totally change things up when I get going. Let's do added to photos. They're a little smaller.
So you're starting on the feed.
I'm starting on the
right
feed
now?
page, yeah. And maybe we can add the time here.
So while Sally's getting started on the feed design page, I want to switch over to my screen and just make sure that I give you guys a little bit more info about the Daily Creative Challenge. Sam Anderson was on right before us and he gave more info, but at the end of this stream while we're on, Sally and myself will be taking a look and we can provide feedback to any of you who actually joined today's Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe XD. So head on over to behance.net/Daily Creative Challenge. There is the Adobe XD one specific to today, which is around designing the quiz section for a flashcard app. And you can add card flip animations and a progress bar with motivational messages. So what that file actually looks like when you download it, there's a lot of like useful resources and inspiration in this file, so you can like quickly get started, and we will take a look at it. You can just post it to Discord and all the instructions are on the website. So feel free and make sure that you guys are sending those in because we'll be taking a look at them near like 1:30.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. So here I'm inputting that placeholder text. This is kind of a lot of text, but that's okay. So this would be like the caption, but it's a very long caption. There we go. So let's see. I want to make these pretty big.
Cool. So I have one more thing to show because I'm getting there. A lot of people in the chat have some questions around certain features. Like Madison was asking if you can prototype hover states in XD, things like that. And I know people are wondering sort of like what features are available right now. If you head on over to Adobe XD .uservoice.com, you can actually put in feature requests for the product. And I know that the team, you know, this is where they go and they look at what you guys are interested in having in the product. So you guys can voice what you really want, and you can basically vote and bump these up. So it's really useful for us, and the product team takes a look at this, and you can actually see like, hey, like the team's actually started working on this feature, or it's under review, like they know that it's something that they want to get to, but they just, you know, have a bunch of other ones that they're working on, features.
Cool, yeah.
So yeah, tap hover effect, if you're interested in that. You know, people really want scrollable area. I know there's a lot of features that they're trying to get to, so you can go here and make sure that what you want within the application is going to be built out. So yes, make sure that you check out the user voice for Adobe XD.
Awesome. So I'm going to transition over to something I like website called Flat Icon, because I'm not an illustrator, so this is a really awesome website. Let's see, so I'm gonna be doing the likes, comments, and the little lipstick thing on my sketches. That's gonna be like the product list or affiliate code area. So I'm gonna get a couple icons for that. So I just need heart. This one looks good.
And I find sometimes I'll use like icons from all over or something just to get started, but then like later I'll go through and it's just like a good way to like put a placeholder in or something like that too, because there's that difference. I know people in the chat were starting to talk about like lo-fi designs versus like hi-fi designs, and I think that some, depends on your project, sort of where you want to start, or also just like designers sometimes just have a preference of like jumping straight in or starting in like low fidelity. So yeah, sometimes with like icon or illustrations, I'm just like putting a pure placeholder because I just don't want to get to it quite yet.
That's exactly what I am doing here.
Yeah.
So that's a chat, but that's
yeah, and in the chat, I know other people are recommending other icon places as well. So Flat Icon is a good one. Noun Project. I'm seeing Nucleo as well. So there's, a lot of great places that you can just quickly grab some icons out there if you don't want to create your own.
Trying to find one that's going to be small, but I also don't want to spend too much time.
Oh man, I could look through.
I could at work when I am using something like this, like like 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, I'm still doing this.
It can take a while too, because I feel like if I actually am going to use these, sometimes it's hard to find. I find like a great, like say the lipstick one, but then I want to find another one, but I still want them to look cohesive as a pair. And
exactly.
That's where it gets difficult.
Exactly.
And then you come back for another lipstick.
Yep, that's exactly how it is. Okay, I'm just gonna do this one for now, and I can always change it. Actually, it's an SVG, so I can erase that part.
Yeah, and in just a few seconds, we're going to be heading into the chat and win section. So if you're not already on Behance chat, make sure that you're heading over there and engaging, because one of you is going to win 100 free
stickers.
Sticker Mule stickers soon.
I could use that. I have a single sticker on my computer.
Really. And it is that time for chat and win. So make sure that you are engaging in the chat. We are going to head into the chat and win section right now. All right, we are back, and make sure that you are engaging in the chat. I don't know if you have a question for our streamers today for something. Maybe, I don't know. Favorite place to travel, and like anything.
Ooh, that's
you
a good
got?
one.
Do you have a favorite place to go?
Oh man. That's a really hard question.
Okay. I think vacation is like always on my mind.
I think vacation is, yeah, absolutely. I feel like, where's my favorite place? I really loved Venice, Italy.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. I studied abroad there. I studied photography and art history. It was very lucky.
Oh my god.
Loved it. I ate a lot of gelato.
Oh my god, that's all I ate when I was there.
3 times a day.
Yep.
I mean, other food as well, but yeah, that
absolutely.
was definitely an issue. All right, we have our winner. Congrats. You have just won 100 free Sticker Mule stickers, and we will have someone who will message you through Behance with the instructions as to how you can actually redeem your reward today, your prize.
Very nice.
So very exciting, congratulations. And for the rest of you, even if you didn't win, you can still use this code and head over to Sticker Mule, and you can get 10 stickers for $1. So still a great deal. And again, if you didn't win, we will be back again tomorrow. So you can also get another chance to win on the Chat and Win with us again tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so just a reminder, and for any of you who are just joining us on the stream, my name is Danielle. We have Sally with us, who's joining from the Bay Area. And she's designing live in Adobe XD, a beauty app, sort of a social way to tag products.
Yeah, exactly. So luckily SVGs are great, so you can edit the image. Oh. Nope. Okay. Not doing it. Okay.
Got it.
Got it. And so I'll definitely, when I do the hi-fi, this will probably change a little bit and make them look a little bit nicer and more even. Oh, I do want to put the numbers next to them. Okay, this. 230.
Nice. So these will be all of your social actions that you can take. So like them or comment. And what's the lipstick one for again?
So the lipstick one for is going to be like the products used within that, that post. So I'm trying to think like an average 10, sure. So yeah, and so the idea here is that you can scroll through, but you can see the next image too, rather than Instagram where it's just you see one and then you can scroll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have where like it's a full bleed image with just the pagination at the bottom. Yeah.
That was too big.
So question for you guys on the chat, how do you guys typically start with low fidelity wireframes, or do you guys prefer to jump into high fidelity right away? Let us know.
Yeah, I'm always curious about what other people do with their
other
designs.
people's process.
Yeah, because it's so different.
And Madison in the chat is wondering, do you normally work out of one XD file for all your screens?
Yeah, I definitely do. I would say I do, yeah.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about Adobe XD, one of the things I love is the performance level. It's so fast, so you can actually have quite a few artboards in there, and compared to some other apps, they feel a lot slower. So this is really fast. You can get a lot in there.
Yep.
I feel like I would say per project, I'm typically in one file, but I do share a lot of files with other people, and sometimes I go and I grab something that I've used in previous files or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be the bottom kind of nav bar where I'm going to need more icons.
Well, and most people are saying if they want something quick, it's usually low fidelity. Some people are kind of sketch then mid fidelity in there in that same range.
Yep, absolutely.
Although Sargil said go straight for hi-fi prototyping right away.
And I actually do that for the company I work for. A lot of times it'll just go straight to hi-fi, because if we already have certain just things in place, it's just easier to just kind of go straight in.
Yeah, and I think so here at Adobe, we have a design language, like a design system, right? And a lot of companies, like Google has Google Materials, right? A lot of companies sometimes will have like a brand kit, right? And a design system. And
exactly.
so sometimes you just already have all those elements that you can just jump right into it.
Precisely.
So it's a little bit higher fidelity just off the bat. But if you're designing something just like a passion project for fun or something like that, maybe you might start, not quite in high fidelity. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I think this kind of matches the other ones. Like I said, they don't have to be final. And I have the heart already. Let's do...
Yeah, Madison said for presenting, our leadership usually wants to see high fidelity and quick.
Yeah, quick is always,
I find that it's
true.
this interesting balance. So I work on like future things. So like what should we be doing as a company like 1 to 3 years out? And it can be hard because it's tricky if you do too high fidelity. Sometimes people really nitpick on like the details of it, even though you want them just to get like the general idea or the vision of it.
Totally.
So I find sometimes I end up doing somewhere in between, even for like higher level leadership meetings, just because it's like you get the idea. Like I want them to be like, this isn't like the final mock, this is just kind of a vision for something.
Exactly.
But it really depends, what you're designing.
And, profile? Yeah. This will work. No. Cool. Oops.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Nice. So you're working on the bottom navigation that you have.
Yeah.
I can see in your sketches. Home. The things you liked, right?
Yeah, so your
Adding new
notifications.
ones. Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically similar to Instagram. This is going to be add,
Search and profile.
search, and then profile.
Nice.
So one thing I'm thinking of, and maybe chat can help with this too, is should we, because a lot of apps, have like text explaining what the icon is. Obviously Instagram doesn't, because people kind of understand like what that is, but what do people think about that?
Yeah, so let us know in the chat if you think that Sally should have text describing the sections in addition to the icons, or solely the icons alone, or just like your thoughts on that in general within like design systems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be really careful when I drink this time instead of spilling all over myself.
Still pretty bad. Okay, yeah, so this icon does not really match the other ones. The thickness is too big, but wireframes, it's fine. No.
Yeah, so we're getting some responses. So something in the chat says that they think it's important like to have the text, because sometimes you don't know like with the lipstick one what it is.
What it is, right?
Necessarily.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Come on. I'm having
I think it depends though, because like some of them are very universal, like you said, like the home or the profile.
Yeah, and I feel like...
And I think it's a good point. Like when you have new icons that users might not know what it is, it's nice to have the text in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kevin says the same thing. I find text below icons helps in new apps. However, using a house icon should be in the best practice to go back to the home page.
Right. I feel like maybe these are behind a little bit more self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you have a question also around what do you guys do when experiencing a creative block?
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of times I'll try and just take a step back from the project, or just start on something else, maybe do some different creative work or something to kind of just get the creative juices flowing. But yeah, that can be really hard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Creative blocks are the worst.
Are the worst.
Yeah. I find, I'm usually go for a run, clear my head, like step aside, like you said, or I'll go to like other people and kind of see what they're working on and like talk with other people about their projects, or look at like inspiration sites, just like look through like a Behance feed or look through Truepill or whatever it is, right? And just kind of see like a bunch of, and it doesn't have to be like, if I'm working on like a design app, it could just be like photography or just like other creative realms.
Exactly.
To kind of just like get re-inspired on a project.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I like doing that as well.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys do to get out of a creative block.
Yeah, I'd like to know that. Get some ideas.
Yeah, wait. Help us for our next creative block.
Okay, so I think that's gets the general idea down. These aren't even or anything. That's okay. It's just wireframe. We don't have to be picky about it. So I think I'm going to start on the profile page next. Let's do that.
Nico, I take my dog for a walk.
That's
Nice.
a good one.
Fresh air. I think that's
yeah, absolutely.
going outside.
I wish I
Always
had
helpful.
a dog to walk. That'd be nice. I have a cat though, so it's
do you?
okay. Yeah.
Do you walk your cat?
I don't. Although I
Okay.
kind of wish I could. They have the little leashes for
No,
cats.
I mean that's
you know,
the thing.
it's a thing.
Oh, I know people who,
Yeah, I think.
you know who you are.
Yeah.
Who, Walks
Absolutely.
their cats, yeah.
I think she's a little bit too scared.
Oh, okay.
She's a scared
An
cat.
indoor cat?
Yeah. Mhm. So this is gonna be profile. So this is kind of where I was talking about how I wanted to make it a little bit more customizable or more aesthetically pleasing for people, because people that are interested in beauty and makeup, they are all about aesthetics. So I'm thinking of doing like a header kind of image similar to like Facebook, or I think LinkedIn does that as well, where they can upload any kind of picture that they want.
Yeah, and Kevin in the chat had a great one, though, for the creative block that I want to make sure that we note, which is another tactic for creative blocks is to change media. So, like, go to a notepad, pencil and paper, or just to kind of, like, switch it up.
Totally.
Which is a really good suggestion, yeah.
That's a really good one.
Sometimes I'll just get other people's brains in a room. Like, sometimes I'm stuck on my own and, like, need to go to a whiteboard and, like, brainstorm with people.
Yeah, I think that also is really helpful, is just talking through the problems or talking through what you are thinking about doing with someone else, because a lot of times they can give really good feedback and they have a lot of really good ideas too, so that's always good.
Or Reverb Mike says, go get snacks. Always a solid solution.
Always a good idea.
I will come work with you.
Yeah. So let's see where this should go. And that is big enough. You can see when I put real photos in tomorrow. And now I'm trying to figure out where to put the usernames and then a place to edit profile and all of that stuff. Let's see.
We have another question in the chat around like encountering difficult clients. So any techniques that we use to keep them from influencing the design completely, right? Like kind of taking over. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I haven't had a lot of like clients, I'd say. When I did do one freelance job, I was just kind of rebranding a website for this company for my friend, and he didn't really have a background in design, and he didn't really know like proper, UX and stuff like that. And so kind of just like trying to explain things as well as you can and trying to get them on the same page, I feel like was the best that I could do.
Yeah.
But I don't have a ton of experience with just clients in general. Luckily for me, I work really closely with our co-founder, and he is a product guy. So he is like really understands design pretty well and understands restraints and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm pretty lucky in that aspect. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, getting a difficult client can
be hard.
be a nightmare. It can be really difficult. I think also like from the beginning, sort of being really clear on like what the goals are, who the user is, and just kind of like what the expectations are, and sort of like being clear on that together and defining like what they want and all of that. And then as you go through the process, like you said, being clear as to like why you made certain design choices, and sometimes it's great to also like reference other like applications or other ways that other people are doing it, if it's like a similar way, or if they are suggesting something that doesn't look too great. Sometimes like you also just need to design it so they can see why it doesn't work, and then also show them like what you would do. So like sometimes it would still design, like they're asking for this, okay, like I'll show it to you, but here's what I would design actually that I think is a better solution, like here's why. So sometimes that also helps with making sure that you're still getting what you would design out there and showing them what they should have versus necessarily what they might have thought would have been the best solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Luke says, do your best to educate them about your design process, but make sure not to act condescending. Yes.
Exactly. You do not want to act condescending.
Very good advice. And Raphael is asking, what is the best way to conduct user interviews? Should you go physically to the place or do it online? I think it depends.
It depends.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways, right, to conduct user interviews. So there's a lot of sites out there that you can use to go online and get people to quickly give you feedback. Sort of like whatever you're most comfortable with or seems like you have the time or resources to do.
Yeah. And sometimes it's cool to do some online, some in person, and just kind of switch it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how many photos I should show within the feed, because I did want to make them larger so there's more detail to them. I should make this a component. Oops.
And as you're thinking about in your design putting the like username, and Mohammed had a suggestion of like he's starting to think, oh, you could put the username to the left side of the profile pic, and maybe like on the right side you could put a nickname. So getting some suggestions in the chat on the designs. Yeah,
that's actually cool. I was kind of thinking that exact thing actually, putting the name here and the username here, and then we'll see. Okay, I'm trying to. That's why it was locked. Okay. I think I'm used to using a mouse so much that I'm like not able to click everything.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, what's your typical setup like? Do you have like a large monitor and like a mouse and everything?
Yeah, I usually use like a 4K. We have a 4K like monitor at work that I like to use.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those weird people. I don't use my large monitor. I have a big one, but I'm usually, and I like don't use a mouse. I'm usually just like on my laptop.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
It's pretty. People are like, "What are you doing?"
Can't do that.
Yeah. I think I am also constantly kind of moving around. So I think to take the 2 seconds to plug into a monitor. I don't know. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, totally. All right, component, awesome. Let's move this over here. So,
whoa, Tim has a 3-monitor setup. Whew.
Really?
Yeah, that's quite the
wow.
the cave setup.
Yeah. I know the engineers that I work with usually have two. Actually, one just got a, how big is that thing? Like 48 or something, like crazy 47-inch monitor. It's a TV.
Yeah.
So we call it, you literally got a TV. So I think what's we're saying here. Where do I put the followers and posts? Maybe I won't go that route. This will probably change.
Right, so eventually I'm seeing your edit profiles, like your button, like call to action, your CTA there, and it's like, it's a good example of like designing in low fidelity. Like, right, we haven't gotten to any color yet. It's just like pure, you know,
Just
like the
getting
white
your-
with some
yeah,
outlines, like
exactly.
gray.
Getting your
Gray
ideas just put down, and then
Yep.
what I find is also when I start on the hi-fi, things totally change as well.
Yeah.
Like when I start putting images and things and colors together, I'm like, oh wait, wow, that totally doesn't work, or yeah, that totally does work. So it depends.
In the chat, Madison's wondering, how do you decide what screen size to start with?
Oh, for for monitors,
Or just
screen
like
si-
when
oh.
you're like on an iPhone or something, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good question. I usually just do iPhone 10. That's just what I'm used to. I feel like you can do whatever you're used to. Just because I have an iPhone 10, I guess is what is why I use that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also, so I will jump into my XD file here as well. One of the nice things about the like grabbing an artboard, if you head over to my screen over here, when you start with a different like phone size or whatever like you're starting with, when you go over to the canvas like artboard tool, you can right away start with, you know, your Android devices or your iPhone devices, and you don't have to like actually note yourself what those pixels like sizes are going to be, but it just like knows the like most current screen sizes for you, which is like an easy way to get started. And then again, like if you're gonna start with like an iPad Pro, again, like it's just like right there for you, which is nice. Yeah,
Super, super helpful.
yeah. And Adobe XD also has like when you're designing for different like screen sizes now, because typically like you might have like a mobile design, and then you might head like over to like desktop or whatever it is. If you want to like adjust your designs, there is like responsive resize. So as you start to design out certain elements, so I'll just sort of put some fake elements on here. Let's see. Use repeat grid, get some text. You'll see that there's this responsive resize, tongue twister, and you can go in manual and you can actually like fix like the width or the height, etc. So, you know, when I start to adjust these, you can see the way that they're moving right now, but I can like change that. So I'm gonna ungroup this right now. Right now, right, these are moving accordingly, and this is shifting like this. So as I change here, and I can like fix certain sides of this element so that they'll, you know, see now they're shifting actually differently together. So that's really useful for when you're starting to like go over to like a tablet design or something like that.
Yeah.
You can actually define on like your elements sort of how you want them to respond.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That was a quick journey.
Yeah, that's
journey
awesome.
way to do it.
So what I did is I added the follower count up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is gonna be, what's going on here? So this will be like kind of the, similar to how Instagram does, the little bar at the top, where you can switch between views. So this will be like the grid view, right? So let's just,
We have someone commiserating with you on the chat. At work, I find it so weird when people are watching me design. It must be hard for Sally.
it's definitely interesting. Yeah, it's definitely different.
It's like having hundreds of art directors hovering over your shoulder.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's
a
whole
little
other
more
thing.
terrifying.
Yeah. Just one, it's too much.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool too when they shows you the actual like
Yeah, so it has
distance
the
between.
snapping,
Mhm.
the distance between.
And then this will be probably a list of like your affiliate links or affiliate codes so people can look them up easy. I'm not sure what icon to use for that. Probably like a link icon for now. Maybe I can come up with something better later.
Yeah, so for those of you who maybe are joining us or joined us a little later, Sally mentioned like affiliate codes earlier were that code that beauty people or businesses can give out, so they have like a specific code for themselves and they can give to their fans so they can get a discount or something on whatever they're purchasing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like super relevant for then if you're designing in like the beauty space and you have all these products that you're trying to sell.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a win-win. So the fans get money off, and then also the artists themselves get money for promoting that. There it is. That one's much smaller. And again, these are totally going to change because they do not match. I'll probably come tomorrow with a better set prepared.
Yeah, and just a reminder, so we're about 30 minutes out from when we're going to give some design feedback. So for those of you who want to get started on or working on it right now, you have about 30 minutes for our creative challenge for today, which is the design the quiz section for a flashcard app. So head over to behance.net/challenge/XD and make sure that you are sending those through Discord. The instructions are all on the site. But Sally and myself will be taking a look at those and we can provide feedback in 30 minutes.
Awesome. I see a good comment there from I can't see very well, but
Yulia? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. What would your advice on searching for the first like UI UX job be? In the case I came from a different major. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ooh, Paco, bringing up the screen size.
Thank you.
I know. I'm like, maybe I should wear my glasses tomorrow.
I don't even have glasses, and I'm like,
okay. Do you have good eyesight?
I do, and
Okay.
sometimes I guess I don't. So,
Like, oh no, if your eyesight's good, mine's terrible.
yeah. So, I think that's a really good question because that's kind of exactly what, I came from. I came from a completely different background from design.
Yep.
And for me, it's just you're getting your first job is applying like crazy, just applying to everything and trying to get as much interview experience as possible. Like even if you have a few, like what happened to me is I had a few phone screenings and the first one obviously didn't go as well, but I learned from it and you get better over time. So I feel like just applying to as much as you can is probably, and that's how I got my job, is just mass applying to 100 places and then finally getting some feedback from someone. Yeah.
It's a tough process. I would
It
also suggest like making sure that your portfolio, like if you're switching from something else, that you
Yeah.
have some work that shows like what you are now doing in UI UX, so they can refer to that even if you don't have the experience. Like maybe find a passion project. Like Sally's working on a passion project
Yeah.
today. Like come up with something that you're interested in, or that you want to get into, and design something, and then you can show that on your portfolio and speak towards that, which I think is really helpful for if you don't have the experience. You can still talk through something and they can still see like the design work and like what your style is like
Yep.
in your process.
Exactly. That's a very good point as well. Okay, so I feel like this could be a little better, but let's move this up. Oops.
Reverb mic, just sit in their lobby until they hire you. I don't know if that's the best solution. Could be.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, I think that works for now. And let's see what I'm going to do next. Maybe I'll do just quickly do the notifications because that's probably pretty quick.
Yeah, so Sally's just going off of the sketches that she brought in earlier, and we took a look at, but there's like the feed, profile, notifications, maybe a post, or like different screens that are like sort of core to showing what the app would do, and then starting off in like this low fidelity, and then we will be back on again tomorrow, so Sally will be back and continuing the design so you can see her full process from sketches to low fidelity, and then I think, you know, tomorrow we'll get into higher fidelity. You're kind of starting to go through adding more color or picking the fonts and everything like that.
Blink twice if you need a mouse. Yes. You got that right.
Like Morse
Can you
code
tell
blinking
I'm
right now?
struggling really hard without a mouse right now?
Tomorrow we can get you.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably bring my mouse tomorrow. Where am I? Okay, so...
The
Yeah.
side, do you want to use them?
I'm gonna have to pair it and stuff. Oh,
Coming in clutch with the mouse.
with the mouse. Thank you. Yay, connected.
Wow,
Wow.
just like that.
Magic.
Big round of applause for Paco with the mouse hookup.
Thank you.
Paco, I think you should come on the stream. And
Yeah,
take a
I
bow
know,
for
take
that
a bow.
moment. That was pretty good. We haven't had you on the stream in a while. You know, every time I'm on, I need a little moment to appreciate Paco with his new stash too. You gotta come to. Yes, there we go. There we go. Thanks, Paco.
Thank you so much. All right, so this is gonna be like, it'll probably change as well. So this is just like what it looks like when your notification feed.
Yeah, like Tim makes a good point for the gifts. For the next time we continue our prank war. Paco and I have our prank war going on. We've been super tame though. We've been super tame. Yeah. But that might
Gosh,
You never know.
yeah, you never know.
I hope so. Get on it, Tim, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks a little weird now. Again, just the wireframes probably smaller. And then I'll probably just do one what it'll look like for a comment, and then what it looks like for someone to follow you.
Nice. Yeah, I usually, even when I'm starting out in low fidelity, sometimes it's really just to get like your ideas down and get a sense of like the layout. And it might not be the cleanest thing. Sometimes I also have like my artboards will be a little crazy because I have like a bunch of iterations because I'm like, oh, like maybe that's an idea, and then I kind of branch off on another one. I'm like, or I could do it this way. So there's a lot of different versions of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Sally, do you want to recap what you're working on?
Yeah.
Right now?
So right now I am working on the notification screen. So what it's going to look like when you get a notification. So this will be like what it looks like, or what it will say when someone likes your photo or people like your photo, and then comments, and then also when someone follows you. So this will be a pretty quick one. Previously we did the profile, and then we also did just the main feed.
Yeah, and this is, again, just a social app for specifically more in the beauty space.
Yeah, so it's geared more towards beauty and makeup enthusiasts, and also professional makeup artists, to kind of make it easier for them to tag products and that they use. Like I had mentioned before, if someone really likes a lipstick that an artist used or an eyeshadow that they used, it makes it easier to see like, you know, how to find that product or how to buy that product or read reviews on it.
It's super interesting because I also feel like, I mean, Instagram's starting to get into, I know that was like your inspiration, where it's like it's difficult on Instagram to do that now, and they're getting really into their like shop or business side of things, because people do find that they spend so much time on there and want to buy products or know like what makeup that someone was wearing. So it'll be interesting because they've started with tags and they have a little bit and they're expanding that business, but there is still like this need for what you're designing right now.
Yeah, and I think they actually do have kind of a solution similar to this for brands themselves. So like Maybelline, their Instagram, like they can tag certain products from the photos, but it's just the brand, it's not individual people that do that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know they're starting out with just like 20 companies, I believe, like initially to like start out with their shop business thing model and see how it goes.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how to, if they should be separated by anything. That's okay.
So we have a question in the chat for you around if you've ever completely scrapped your sketches and prototype only to start again. They basically say, I personally can never stick to what I sketch.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you start designing it hi-fi and you're like, no, just, this is not, it didn't go as I had thought it would, and you kind of just like iterate on it and things change. Yeah, sometimes that happens for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever completely scrapped my sketches. I feel like it's good to have that sense of progress, but I think like you said, iterating off of it. So like sometimes you have to like totally pivot, or you just kind of like restart a little bit. I mean, sometimes it's just starting fresh, but you still are using kind of pieces that you had, like the general idea is usually there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Then this.
I just saw the comment in the chat about if I don't thank you that you'll show the zombie baby. I think that was for me. So I'm just going to thank Paco one more time. Thank you, Paco.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paco.
Thank you.
I'm being very nice today on the
Don't
chat.
scare me.
Sally knows.
I might scream.
We're both saying we're very jumpy when it comes to scary
Very
things.
jumpy.
Yeah.
I don't do well with horror movies or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're keeping it light. We're in the beauty space. Come on.
Yeah. So not sure about that right now.
Secretly applause in the background.
No. I may change that tomorrow after thinking about it, because that kind of looks a little weird, but we'll see. And so it'll just repeat, essentially. So that was a quick one, and now
Which part will repeat?
the
And the notifications. All of that section.
Mhm.
You could use a quick repeat grid. Show that feature off if you want.
How do I
So going up, so she selected the whole thing, and like the idea is that all those elements would generally repeat. So on the right hand side, there's that button that says repeat grid. So she taps that and clicks on it. And then you can use the handles and drag down, and it basically just repeats all those elements. So it'll do that horizontally and vertically, challenged. But you can adjust, and then like the spacing as well with the pink highlight on there. Yeah, but it's just like a quick, handy tool to repeat elements like super quickly. And you can always undo the repeat grid.
Awesome. That, I don't know why I didn't know that. It's a good tip. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do now. I think I'm gonna start on the, where is it? Probably the affiliate code. So the idea here is that it'll link from these. It'll go to this page with all the list of your affiliate links or codes. Probably make this a component too.
You can also just like, if you command, or like, what is it? You copy and then paste. Like if you click, it'll paste it directly in place, which I know has saved my life because before in like other products, it wouldn't actually paste it in place. It would just copy it on the artboard. Yeah, but if you, maybe you want to try it just to see. But now, like in Adobe XD, the automatic, like the default is to paste it in place. So if you copy that and then click on it and then paste it, paste directly, so you don't have to worry about getting it exactly right.
That's great. Does it work with?
Yes,
of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Yeah.
Wonderful. I used to try and remember that, like paste in place one shortcut.
Yeah.
But now it's just
super,
the default,
super
which
simple.
makes a lot of sense.
That's awesome. Okay, so this is now, let's see how I want to do this. And do like a little arrow.
So Yulia is following up on asking around what would be a good number of projects and how complex should they be for getting your first job?
That's a really good question. On my portfolio, you guys can go to my Behance. I think it's linked on my Behance actually. You can see the amount of projects I have, which are not many. I think it depends on I guess it kind of depends on the job that you're going for. But I think if you have a few solid case studies that show your design thinking and your, like, how you solve problems, I don't think you need too many. I think quality over quantity.
Definitely quality over quantity. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you need to show, like, it shouldn't be about the number of them necessarily, but definitely the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Tim mentioned in the chat, they will be reviewing portfolios on Thursday. So Sally and myself are here, and the schedule will be the same as it was today for tomorrow. So you'll have the creative challenge in the morning, and then you'll have a live stream after that, another creative challenge with Sam Anderson and XD, and then we will be on. But then days of the week. Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be a totally new schedule, so make sure that you stay tuned. There's a lot of exciting stuff on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you can, whoa, my voice. You can submit your Behance, and then whoever is on the stream will be reviewing them, and they can provide feedback for you, give you some advice and tips, and like see the awesome work that you're doing. So it's a great chance to do that.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Well says I presented around 8 to 10 projects, including sketches, thought process, and concepts. Yeah, and I think making sure that you're showing your process is super important as well.
Absolutely. Okay, now I'm trying to think of beauty brands.
Yeah,
And there's a million, and I can't. I'm like drawing blanks. Okay.
I'm not the person to help you.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
like,
Most people
not.
have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm like NARS. I don't.
No, I know.
NARS, the plant.
The plant.
That's really
Yep.
how it shows. How much I know about that. Yeah.
So this will essentially be like a drop down, right? So it can. Those are horrible. That's okay. So this will be where the affiliate codes go. And you can like make it really easy to just quickly copy them.
Oh, Sam's giving you some inspiration in there. NARS, Too Faced,
Huda Beauty.
Decay.
There you
Yes,
go.
coming in
There you
with
go.
the save. Yeah.
Yes.
Someone knows more about this.
Yes.
But I do. Fatima has some suggestions too. Cool.
Fenty,
Thank
Huda,
you.
Dose of Colors, all great brands. I agree. These are great. Thank you, guys. And I think we get the idea now. Cool.
So you have your different brands, and then it looks like if you were to tap on one of them, it expands down.
Stands down for a quick copy. So it's just like two clicks. So it's pretty simple, I think. Instead of having to like hold down and press copy on your phone or something
yeah.
like that. Okay, so now we can do what it looks like to post a photo. So where you can like add the products that you used in the look.
So just a reminder, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be giving design feedback on the XD Creative Challenge for today. So make sure that you're starting to wrap those up and send them into the current challenge section of Discord, so that channel, and we'll be taking a look. And we definitely want to provide some feedback and just see what you guys are making, so send those in.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this is gonna be...
Yes, I know. Both of us are like, yes, that copy and paste. Paste in place.
So this is post.
Yeah, so I can see, so Sally's also like referencing the sketches that she worked on. So we have like her sketches from earlier that we took a look at. She's been looking like consistently, I feel like, kind of at the sketches and then designing. Sometimes I even like with sketches, or like when I work on a whiteboard with a bunch of people and like take a photo of it, I'll end up dropping it into my XD file. I mean, right now she has like the sketches in person, but I also will sometimes like just put it directly in my file and then kind of mask the sections and like put them on the artboard, so I know like kind of what I'm working on, and then start to go through like each section just so I like have it with me if I don't like have my notebook or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. And then I think just like so this is pretty similar to Instagram actually, but I won't show what it looks like to edit a picture because I don't think that's necessary, but you can.
Yeah, I think when designing and you have an application and you're just starting out, it's nice to think about like what are like the main screens that would really show what's unique to your application or just are like core to like the flow. And then there's obviously going to be a lot of like interim steps of things like, oh, like you said, like the detail of like going and editing your photo, like something you're going to want to eventually design and like needs to be designed, but it's also there's certain things that might be more universal and people have less questions about. So for like the time that we have on the stream, it makes sense to like not go into that much detail and like be able to see like the main screens.
Totally. Exactly. And let's see what that. Maybe just a line or a text box to enter. Maybe a box would be better. That's good for now.
So right now you're designing the post screen. So what's the section? This is, oh, you actually have your post.
Yeah, so this is, I kind of like skipped, like I said, the like that where you edit the photo or you choose the photo because I feel like that's kind of universal, and this is kind of more towards what I'm trying to accomplish with the app, like entering affiliate codes and product stuff. So the idea is that you went through those 2 steps to get to this screen.
Okay. Nice, yeah.
And so let's see. Products used. Oops.
And this is, I feel like, where Sally's app really differentiates itself is in like listing a bit more, like having a designated area for all those products that have been used. And I mean, obviously surfacing really strongly, I think also like the code aspect of it, of like having, you have a lot of people who have these businesses or these products that they're using and they can share with their fans or promote their own business. Yeah,
exactly. So I think I'm gonna group it by like the different types of products. So like face products, eye products, or lip products. Let's reuse this guy. Oops.
Yeah, so I figure like if you happen to have any of those, they'd show up, and if you don't have them within your section, like you don't have the eye product or something, that category just wouldn't show up or something.
Precisely, yeah. Thinking if we need the bar up here, I'm not sure if that's taking up space. Because going directly from the photo input, I don't think there would be a top bar. Free up some space. Perfect. So what I'm thinking for this is the input would have some sort of like predictive text search for items, and I think it would be kind of, the idea was that it would be sourced from Beauty Book, which is an app that I had, in case you guys are just joining and didn't hear the beginning, but I made an app, or I designed an app kind of similar to this about the beauty space, where you can read and write reviews on beauty and skincare products. So it's kind of like, the idea would be, it's like a database of products, and you can start typing and it would kind of predict text and you can add it that way, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Oops. And then it would drop down with the predictions, I think.
Cool. So yeah, maybe before we go into our design feedback session, do you want to like kind of summarize and go through a little bit of what you've covered so far?
Yeah, good idea. So I started with the feed. So this is what, when you open the app, this is what your feed looks like. Similar-ish to Instagram, but a little bit different with the larger pictures, this kind of layout. Then I did the profile, so what your profile looks like, and an option to find the affiliate links, your notifications, and what the code list looks like, and how to copy those affiliate codes. And then we just finished up what it looks like to post a photo and add the products used and affiliate codes.
Yeah. Ah, so we already have so many pages designed out.
Yay.
It's great. Yeah, and Sally started all the way with her sketches, so showing us sort of her thinking on that, and then jumping into these low fidelity screens. And then tomorrow, we'll keep going through right now, obviously, but we're going to jump into design feedback in a second. But then tomorrow we'll get into a little bit more around conversations around like choosing color and typography and getting a little bit more into higher fidelity designs and like some spacing and all of that good stuff. So that'll be awesome. But we are going to transition now because the countdown clock. Oh, do you see my pointing is always in the wrong direction? I can never get it right. It is the opposite.
It is the opposite. It's confusing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get that either.
One of these. It was really bad. The countdown clock is at 0. We're going to move on. We're transitioning over to take a look at creative challenge, daily creative challenges. So right now we have XD's creative challenges that are going on. Right now we're actually going to take a look at some of the submissions and provide feedback from some that were sent in yesterday, which was around designing a tablet-based chat experience for a digital travel agent. And so let's head on over in Discord, and Sally and I are just going to take a look and we can provide some feedback. So Karen submitted, so click to launch interactive prototype. Let's go ahead and do that. Cool, so we have My Holiday app. Hi Karen, how can I help today? Nice. I mean, I think it's super clean, like the little transitions here.
Yeah, the transitions look great.
So we have this details that are coming in from the date. I also think it's really clean as well. Like it's super clean design. So I'm going to click on this Columbia one. Good choice. These are some places to stay. Cool. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's really clean. The transitions look really great. So the details, maybe I missed what happened, but so you choose the dates. Okay, cool.
Yep, and then they say there's some beautiful spots. Which of the following would you prefer? It's cool to see it in this chat format, you know, having someone sort of respond to you. And then it's interesting also having this side panel coming in versus like a pure chat format, and like getting some of the more like detailed stuff on the side is an interesting way to do it as well, just to like show more specific stuff, I feel like. So this looks really clean.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it makes it more personal too. Like I like the chat, like personal feel of it. Yeah, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it is nice having like also differentiating the colors here for like who's speaking back and forth, having like the little avatar.
Yeah, everything is really legible against the dark background, which is nice.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so that was a submission we got for the Creative Challenge. And for those of you who are interested, like, you can still submit, and tomorrow we're going to have a chance to look at more as well. I'm going to have to maybe download that one here. Okay. So we have another submission for the travel app one. So let's go ahead and play it. This is a really classic kind of chat back and forth here. Oh, so we have the entire background changing with it.
Interesting.
Cool. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think that one was cool too. What do you think about the background image? Does it seem a little busy? I don't know if there's like a if it's already showing the little
preview
at the bottom. Is it super necessary for the background, or does it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting detail. I haven't seen it
done
before necessarily. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more like it's an interesting like style choice to do. I think if I actually was trying to look at the full photo, I maybe just want like to expand to like a full view, because in this case I still have things kind of like blocking it, you know?
Yeah, maybe if you select the little preview, it could kind of like open up a little bit larger for you to see the full thing.
Yeah, but I still think like very clean with your thought bubbles here. I'd like pay attention maybe to like just like the detail of like having your type here. There's a little bit more spacing at the top versus the bottom on some of the red bubbles, whereas like the white ones, it's like very evenly distributed with your white space. So I would just be like careful on those little details, since it's a very clean design, so people will probably notice like a lot of the kind of details in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, I like the calendar view too. It's nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think the other thing is with the like the background choice, because you have like this little, I think it might be the time that it was done.
Yeah.
It gets a little lost then when you have like an image or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even notice it because I couldn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to, I can see it on my screen, but on that big screen it's kind of hard. So I think like making sure and thinking through that, especially, yeah, it reads really well on the white, but on images it might be a little bit more difficult. Cool. Great submission. Okay, we're going to check out maybe one more here. Let's see what we have. So we had another submission from Mashael. So this one, it's also nice on the Behance sort of the setup. I would like say like setting it up if you're going to post like the work that you did. Like this is also great. We talked about like starting out with like UI UX projects, like if you're changing careers or changing fields, like the Creative Challenge is a good way to just kind of like jump in and have a little bit of a prompt of something to do and to work on.
Definitely.
And you can show that off as well. So this one has a nice like little description that it is like part of the Daily Creative Challenge. Looks like they actually put the mocks on like some images, which is cool too.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
All right, so let's take a look at their app. Cool, so it's super simple. I think it is interesting, but we again have like this
background.
Yeah. And then we have the chats coming in over this as well.
Yeah, I think I think that looks cool. I think it's neat that it's just in kind of like the left corner instead of taking the full width of the page, which might cause issues with readability. But it's a nice detailed photo, and you can really really see what that, you know, travel location would be like being there.
Yeah, it is true. I feel like if in this case, like, it seems like you really thought through the composition of the page, because you have this building over here, so there's a lot more space here to have like a full chat going on.
Exactly.
So imagine if you did curate, like the other one, it's just harder because you're going through like a selection of what like a hotel has of their photos, and they're not going to be necessarily all like composed the same way for like using it as a background. But in this case, like when you're traveling, like you have all these inspirational like photos and things like that, so you could really pick ones that work well with like this styling of having like detail and a bunch of stuff on the right side, but like a clean space to have your design come up.
Yeah, I totally agree. It looks really clean.
Sweet. Cool. And it is really nice to see this format too of like how someone would show that off on their portfolio.
Absolutely.
So thinking through that is a good idea too. So it's nice, kind of adding it in, making it look a little bit more clean here, and with the little description.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yay. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it. So again, we have the daily creative challenge that goes on, and there's details on here of how it works and everything, and how you can submit on Discord. So make sure that you're taking advantage of this, because you can get feedback from people on the live stream throughout the week. We'll be taking a look again tomorrow, because Sally will be back. We'll be back at the same time, 12 to 2. But for now, we're just going to let Sally continue working through her designs. She's been working on the beauty social app, and like started from sketches, going like all the way through, and then tomorrow we'll like continue through that as well.
Yeah, awesome. So next one, I think I'm gonna do this one I haven't thought out as much, so we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
So this one is going to be like the detail view of the photo. So like if you were to just look at one of these photos, or just, you know, select this, what it would look like. I'm not using the mouse. Just realized.
Paco slaved over getting that mouse. You gotta use it. Yeah, and tomorrow, like, as she's describing right now, like Sally's saying, oh, like, as you click on this, right, it'll go to this page over here. Like, tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be getting into the prototyping mode of Adobe XD. So right now, we've solely been in the design phase of it. So it's trying to just get, like, the general vision of, like, what the main screen should be. But then tomorrow, we'll get into, like, higher fidelity. And then we'll start, you know, hooking some things up so you can actually have a clickable prototype, which will be really exciting.
Exactly, yeah.
Super easy, really simple.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to make this bigger. Should I get that and then...
And so another tip, I think, when people are thinking through, I know we had some questions earlier around kind of like sizing decisions on things. Like when it comes to, if you're questioning, oh, like how large is this, like is this font too small? Does it feel too big? Kind of like how does it actually feel? It's hard sometimes when you're like in designs, like actually in Adobe XD, you kind of get lost because you're like zooming in and out and you don't actually realize what it looks like necessarily. A good trick is with the Adobe XD app, you can actually get it on your phone, and then you can plug in your phone to your computer and actually like see the mocks like on your phone.
Oh, cool.
So that is really nice for like getting a sense of how it actually like feels and what it looks like on the device itself.
That's actually
and there's like
super
real-time updates and stuff, so if you change your design, you'll see it really quickly on your phone too.
Nice.
So That sometimes I use if I'm not sure how well the font size is working, if I'm like trying to decide if it's too small or not, I'll kind of hook it up to the device and see.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna show what the product will look like on a single post.
What are you thinking through?
So I'm thinking what it would look like if someone wants to, see the actual product list. So this page we showed what it's like to like tag the products or add the products. So now I'm trying to think like what it could look like on a single post for just like the regular user. I think.
So sort of maybe like a list view, sort of going
So
all the way
kind
down.
of similar to this, I think. I'm thinking of adding, if I should do it by brand, because a lot of times you use products that are from similar brands, so maybe grouping them like that would make sense, or grouping them, or actually maybe just grouping them by the same as face, eyes. Yeah, maybe that makes more sense because then it's the same here. Okay.
Yeah, it might be easier let us know in the chat if you have a suggestion as to what might make more sense, like grouping them based off of body part versus, I was like trying to think of a description of that, or felt a little weird, or off of brand, if there's like a better way. I think it's interesting because it is, like brand is important in one regard, right? Like you want to highlight that, but it also is interesting to think about what would be the most like common way of looking at it, because if not everyone chooses all the same brand, then if you still have 10, 20 things listed, it might be difficult to get that all in a list.
Yeah, okay, let's see. So
Body part might be more generic.
yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that, especially because it's used already here, so it just makes more sense. Oops. This is what I always do. There we go. So let's do. Actually, no. Okay. So I think it'll be similar to this, and it'll be like kind of a way to expand it if you want to see, rather than just being shown a huge list of stuff, and you might not want to be looking at face products or whatever.
Yeah, Joe in the chat said by product, that is lipstick, blush, etc. So probably more similar along with the groupings versus brand.
Exactly.
Now, will this be listing them for just like, because you have two photos, so like you have more than one photo.
So
will it be just for the first one, or like when you swipe through, does it change? Oh, it's all of them for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because more than likely, the artist will probably be posting more photos of the same makeup look. Not all the time, I guess. They might want to do a variety, but a lot of times they'll do different angles, or just do a close-up on the eyes, or close-up on or just do the face and stuff like that. So all the products will probably be the same, I think.
Cool. And Tim's asked some good questions. So when would you share the design with the client? And I think like sort of on the back end of that, like would you show them the low-fi wireframes?
I think that depends on the client, because sometimes if you show them this, and they don't really understand design, or they don't understand the process very well, that obviously goes into, you kind of explaining it to them. It might be hard for them to visualize what it'll be like hi-fi. But it also is nice to keep them in the loop, I think. So I guess you kind of just judge like who that client is. Sometimes,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's really hard to show low fidelity designs because they don't understand. They're like, what is this? Or like, it's like really difficult, and it can lead into like all these tangents off of that. So I feel like when we get to like what tomorrow's is like, it feels like probably a better time to like give them a feel and a better sense of like what's going on.
Yeah, I totally
but like
agree.
sketches, maybe I think like sketches is like a good like keeping them in the loop, or kind of like here's where the general direction is, but then kind of stepping back until you have like higher fidelity. That's at least me personally. Let us know in the chat when you kind of think is the best time to share with clients.
Yeah.
And Noelle, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I keep forgetting to use the mouse. I don't know what. There we go. And then within the sections of different body parts, as you said, I'm thinking because there'll be different brands within each one, so maybe that's where I can put the brand. Let's see, how's that gonna look?
Yeah, and Tom said we normally do lo-fi and a couple of hi-fi screens.
Yeah.
When
That
sharing
makes
with
sense.
clients. Yeah, I think reading your client as well is good, because if they do have some sense that they've been through the process with you before, showing them a little bit of that lo-fi work can be fine for sure. I think I just am cautious of making sure that it doesn't get off on like some tangent, or they are like, but what is this, like why does it look this way? And it's like, oh well, you have to like go into that whole description.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see, maybe I'll do so this will be like, or maybe I should do cards. See, this is what do I do? So within eyes, let's say you have, 3 different brands that you use. How am I gonna split that up? Or do I just list the product? That's my dilemma right now.
I mean, you can still probably list the product and still name what brand it is,
so
right?
maybe
I mean, it might lean towards that.
Yeah.
Might be easier just for, I think the thing like you're saying to think about is like when you have more than one, like you're gonna have a lot of these elements, like how many pieces of information do you need to show in each section, and then how much space is that realistically gonna take, is like, I feel like what's like going through your head right now.
Exactly right. Yeah, you got that exactly right. So that's a good idea. I think maybe just saying the brand. And then,
because I think in like the lo-fi moments, it's more like, again, like getting all that what's in your head like down on the page. So it's kind of like, okay, what are all these types of things, the type of information I'm going to need? And like it might be super cluttered now, but then as you go through, at least it's all down on the page, and you can just like start to shuffle everything.
Yeah, totally. So I'm thinking, oh crap, now I have to think of actual products from Mac.
Well, maybe this is a good time to give it like a general overview, again, like a summary of what we've done today, all the work that you've done, like in the process that you went over, and then what we're kind of thinking for tomorrow.
Perfect. Yeah. So today got some good work done, actually.
Yay.
Yeah.
Actually, I like how you're like,
yeah. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how far I was going to get, to be completely honest. Yeah. Okay, so we started off with the feed. Similarly to Instagram, you have your photos, you have your caption, that kind of stuff. And then this little section here is how many likes, how many comments, and then how many products used. And oh, I don't think I ever explained this, but this is like stories. I just realized I totally did not explain what that was. And then, so the kind of this bottom nav bar is home, likes, add photo, search for people or products, and then your profile. And then this page was your profile view, where you can link to press that and it'll go to your codes, your affiliate codes. I guess these should probably be switched, but that's okay. This is your notification center, pretty straightforward with what it looks like when people like, comment, and follow. And this is where you post a photo and you can add your affiliate codes and then also all your products used. And then this was a product detail kind of place, which I'm gonna probably think about a little bit more tonight and come back prepared tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, so what do you think you want to focus on, or what's sort of the next steps for tomorrow? Because Sally's going to be with us again, same time tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to make sure that I just clean things up a little bit, make sure that it's the direction that I want to go in. I won't add any new screens or anything crazy like that. But I think the next thing to do is figuring out kind of the branding, so colors and typography and that kind of stuff. And then once I figure that out, I'm definitely going to want help from chat on that, because I don't really know off the top of my head quite yet. I might come with some ideas, but it would be really awesome to get some feedback on that. And then we'll do the hi-fis and probably prototype.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, tomorrow is going to be exciting. So make sure that you tune back in. We have a full schedule for tomorrow that was similar to today. So just to recap so you guys know what's going on, starting at 9 a.m. is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, and then 9:30 we have a live stream on for graphic design. And then right after that, Sam Anderson does the XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then Sally and I will be back on at 12 until 2. So yeah, we will continue going through the designs. It was a great start today. And if you are interested in seeing it transition into the higher fidelity, we'll talk about color choices and fonts and some resources that you guys can use, inspiration for that.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us today. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.